Hi, welcome to Senior Focus. We're going to be focusing on different issues surrounding the senior community here in our area. And today we're going to be speaking with Claire Henry. She's the program director of the Homestead program here at Meadow View. And welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here.
Thanks. The first thing we wanted to talk about was what's the difference between sort of general forgetfulness and dementia? How do we know what the difference is?
Yeah, we all experience a memory loss at a certain age and forgetfulness. The difference is that as we age, we start to experience profound memory loss. And what we look at, is it affecting your functioning level? It becomes the concern, and that where we would need to intervene on.
So is dementia Alzheimer's? Is Alzheimer's dementia? How are those two things different?
You know, that's a very common question we hear quite often. What is the difference? What I do tell families is dementia is the actual umbrella term of the intellectual functioning loss. Under that umbrella term is we have different dementias. We have an Alzheimer's dementia, what we see most frequently. We have a Lewy body's dementia. There's a vascular dementia. You know, and we like to look at those different forms of dementia on how we are going to present the environment and how we're going to treat the individual.
So if we notice that somebody that we care about is becoming more forgetful, what are some of the things that we can do?
You know, there's a number of things we can do. We can look at the environment. We can look at how safe they are in their environment. The number one thing I do recommend families is, you know, they need to open a conversation with their primary care physician. So we can rule out, is anything metabolic going on? Are we dealing with the depression? Are we dealing with the reversible dementia? Do we need to take it a further step and see a neurologist and have further testing? So we have a complete picture of what is going on with the individual. And at that stage, it's important to have discussions with the physician on, you know, the course, the progression, what sort of difficulties the individual is having. Are they having sequencing problems? Are they leaving the stove on? Are they awake at night? Are they wandering out at night? As the dementia progresses, we do realize that we have significant safety issues that we need to keep in mind.
And so there are a number of people that are providing care for somebody that does have memory loss. What are some of the do's and don'ts when you're the caregiver? What are some of the pieces of advice you would give to those people?
Again, I would revert to the primary care physician, the physician, have that dialogue. There are many agencies out there that can provide some intervention, some assessments. There's some geriatric care managers that specialize in Alzheimer's. I also encourage families to get in touch with the Alzheimer's Association, to connect with the helpline. Many resources. They do have outreach programs that can help the individual. You know, again, I encourage families, we need to know that the individual is safe. The Alzheimer's Association has a safe return program. You know, we need to understand what is happening with the individual, whether they are still safe to stay in the home, or if, you know, we are progressing, do they need to be in a secure environment?
And what would that line in the sand be in terms of being safe at home? At what point do you know that it is time to start looking outside for a program? What would those clues be?
Without a question, if we're dealing with someone that's wandering out the door. and that is a significant safety risk. Very often I hear from, well, they're just going next door. There's that one chance that, you know, with the dementia, we know that they lose their sense of judgment. They lose their cognitive mapping abilities. You know, you and I are going to go out to the mailbox. You and I know to turn around, and the cues are there to bring us back into the house. The person with dementia loses that ability. The other situations are they up at night? Are they incontinent? I would say the highest percentage of placement we see is when we're dealing with an incontinence issue. Very difficult for families. We also see a lot of resistance to the care, the agitation. If the person with dementia remains untreated, there are certain people who can become quite aggressive. And the other thing I see, and I encourage families, is there's a tremendous amount of support. Many families are ashamed of the disease. And we're hearing more and more, you know, today we can speak more openly about cancer, but we still can't speak about Alzheimer's. We try to get the word out. We are dealing with a neurological disorder. And there is tremendous support for the family and the caregiver. If families are not comfortable contacting the Alzheimer's Associate, I'm available. There are numerous support groups. We have a program called the Alzheimer's Cafe, which is a very big program in communities right now, and it's a non-threatening social support group that is open to the community. And it encourages families to come participate. If they want the support is there.
That's good to know. That's good to know. So when somebody's at the place where they're realizing that their loved one isn't safe anymore and that it's time to look at a memory program, what are the things they can look for when they're touring and just looking at different programs? What might be some of the questions they should ask? What are some of the things they should keep their eyes open for?
What I encourage families, the number one thing you want to look for is you want a dedicated program director for the program. And that is going to drive the program, that is going to meet the criteria necessary. There are programs out there which just lock doors, you know, and that they are not offering what we like to see as an activity-driven program. That there is a criteria, you know, you want a program that is going to meet the needs of an Alzheimer's dementia client. You do not want to go into a program where there is, you know, a mixed population, that they cannot meet, you know, your loved one's needs. Questions I encourage families to ask is, what is the psychotropic level? At Meadow View, we strive to reduce the psychotropic levels. And the reason this is so important, it tells you about what is happening, what sort of programming is happening. Is that when someone is having some difficulty, some restlessness, some agitation, that your medication you do not want as your first line of defense. At Meadow View, we strive, we have an activity-driven program. On admission, we have what we get a program called Getting to Know Me. We sit down and we get your loved one's story. What is going to work for your loved one? What time do they get up? What time do they go to bed? What is their customary pattern, so we can have a very individualized care plan. And what I tell families, if your mother always slept till 10 a.m., When she comes to the dementia unit, she's going to still sleep till 10 a.m. We get into her reality. Very, very important. We are very focused. We are a social model program. We strive for the right environment, a home-like environment. We do, all staff do activity programming. If your parent is up in the middle of the night, we have a program going on.
Wow,
There, you know, I've admitted many 11 to 7 nurses, and you know we are not going to get them to sleep. Other long-term care and other units they'll go in with the medication, and we work very hard to find out what their sleep patterns are and get into what is going to work for the individual. You want to observe how are the staff interacting with the resident. What is going on the unit? You want to make sure you're touring the unit, looking at the rooms. We have a very home-like, individualized room. I encourage families to bring in familiar items, chair, favorite bedspreads, pictures. We have a memory box so that the individual with dementia can find their own room. We strive to maintain their independence. Most of my residents are ambulatory. Our rehab staff are very involved in the unit. And I encourage families to talk to the rehab staff. See how educated the rehab staff is on dementia care. See how they are involved in it. So often we hear, that we cannot work with your mother because she has dementia, because she can't learn. Untrue. There's different approaches that we look at times of resistance, and I strive to have the rehab staff involved in the program.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. One of the phrases that we're hearing more and more, people talking about sundowning. Could you explain what sundowning is?
Sundowning, and that's a very good question when you are touring the unit. Sundowning is a phenomenon with dementia clients. We truly aren't sure what causes sundowning. The belief it has to do with our sleep cycles, our circadian rhythm, our body temperatures. So as the day, we get into later part of the day, the dementia person has a tendency they become more confused, they may become more restless, they may become agitated. Mm-hmm. At Meadow View, we have a program, we have a quiet time program. Mm-hmm. And what it is, and all staff in the building know about our quiet time program, because we start to slow down the unit. We close curtains. We have no overhead pages going on. From 1:30 to 2:30, we have no carts come on the unit. We eliminate a lot of the stimulation. Many of our residents take a nap. We have a very low, slow sensory programming on the unit. And you come up to my unit and it's not like your typical dementia unit. You can hear a pin drop. We have aromatherapy going, quiet music in the hallways. We may have a group. We have a mural in part of our hallway. We create the right atmosphere, and we turn down the lights, which is also very important. Yeah. And we have been able to reduce our medications. We are running at a 0.47% psychotropic level on the unit, which is unheard of in long-term care. We are running about a 2% fall ratio on the unit. We significantly reduced our falls. By creating this social environment between 3 and 5, we serve a homemade soup on the unit. You know, have a very home-like environment. And it is just made a tremendous difference in the behaviors and how we're responding and how the quality of life of our resident on the unit is responding.
Wonderful, thank you. That's great information. It sounds like that's great. Well, thank you for joining us here on Senior Focus. If you would like to reach me, you certainly can. My number is 978-276-2010, and I'm going to be looking for show topic suggestions. If you've got any questions about some of the things Claire's discussed, I would be happy to take that call. Also, if you've got any suggestions about future show topics, I'd be looking forward to those suggestions too. So again, thank you for joining us.